We thank you, God, for even the rain at this time of year, for we know that it nourishes the earth, but we especially give our thanks for the sun that warms our community. May you bless our leaders tonight as they make decisions on behalf of our community and those who live here. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Resolution be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Kennett as follows. Whereas Doyle Privet has rendered effective and faithful service to the City of Kennett, Missouri as past president of Kennett J.C.'s, board member of Kennett National Bank, 16-year board member of Southeast Missouri State University Board of Regents, serving as president for the last 2 years. Past president, Kennett Chamber of Commerce, recipient of an honorary doctorate of this administration at the Southeast Missouri State University. Whereas Doyle Privet has honored the duties incumbent upon these offices and has already exemplified the highest ideals of public service on behalf of the city. And whereas it is altogether fitting and proper that recognition be given by our community to Doyle Privet for his dedicated service and capacities he has served. Now therefore it be resolved by the mayor and the city council of the city of Kennett, Missouri, that Doyle Privet is recognized for his exemplary service to the people of Kennett, Missouri, passed and approved this 19th day of May 2015.
Thank you, Bob.
Appreciate that. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it very much. I would like to also say that, as always, I've said it before here, I think maybe years ago, but I'm proud of all of you too and everything that everybody does, because I know you give up lots of days and lots of nights and lots of evenings to do the job you do, and we need people like you all doing this. It's a great thing you do. I appreciate this very much. I'm proud of Kennett, proud to be from Kennett. Try to do the best job I can to represent Kennett. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
In your package, you have the minutes from the last meeting in May 5th. Anyone needs to make a motion?
Motion.
Motion second.
Seconds from that side.
Any discussion, changes, corrections? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Department reports. John, would you like to lead off?
Yeah, we're going to have with you tonight the fire department report for the month of April. And the statistics that we collect, there's 59 calls for the month of April, 2 training sessions. And second page will be the breakdown of what type of calls they were. And then third page basically shows day of the week, time of the day that most calls happen, and some gee whiz stuff over a couple pages shows you which wards are the busiest. And our average time on scene in the city, we try to hit a 4-minute benchmark or better. And then the last page by who the questions on it, it'd be for half an hour after meeting.
Yeah, one question on the rescue medical for last year, 529.
That's gonna be the total for that. Now, I don't have last year's here, but that rescue medical is basically your first responder calls. When you get the fire service, they call it rescue medical. We that was down from the previous year, but on the last year totals, that's the whole totals for the last year.
That's 12 months.
Yes. Any other questions? We have had the, in between rains, we had the mowing crew out. They worked on 412 out east and 84 out west. And they did knock off some of the weeds that were growing around the Walmart intersection on the islands, and working on budgets today, but I think they went north on 25, so it's working out pretty good for us so far. It's just, you know, with rain, you can't get as much mowed because your ditches are overwatered and such. So, had a lot of good comments from different people, either calling or seeing it and saying it looks much nicer than before, so. Hopefully when the weather breaks and we don't get as much rain, we can dress it up even a little bit more than it is now. And I think we mowed the lot that was in question last week on Bradley Street, got it mowed. And there was another one that the court ordered to be mowed, so they took care of that. And I've directed them to try to find the proprietor of the property on Bradley Street, but we don't have to keep mowing it. It's some finance company outside the city, so sometimes it's very difficult for them to give you much information. So, anyway, those are taken care of.
This is a property on the east end of Brandon?
It's on, on the very east, greenhouse, I think it was. I think you got the call too. There's 2 calls.
So we had to mow that, the city had to mow that?
Right now, we're trying to fast track some of it. If it's 10 inches or more, put a measuring stick in the yard, they'll side it and give them a few days to get it mowed. If not, then we'll mow it. Otherwise, court, it could be 2 months before you get something in the court, and then it's gonna be either way high or whatever, because unfortunately, the court gets loaded up with a lot of other things other than just property.
Yeah, we don't need to bring it forward for weeds, we can do that without court order.
So we've discussed it, and they're working on it.
John, could you
Yes.
check out a property on Starnes for me? I've had a complaint on it. We're talking about
You have the address?
No, I don't. But I'll check it out.
Okay, so right there at Russell and Starnes?
Yes.
Okay. That one there has been bought by, I think it went up for auction, was bought, and there's a black car that we've been after sitting there, being tied up in probate, and it's supposed to be moved here shortly.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, we're aware of it.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You're okay, I'm lucky, I'll move it back. I got my leg in, I'm not gonna be everybody else's cheese. Updates for you all real quick. I was gonna brag on John's mowing crew too. It does look a lot better. We had bush hog out one day last week up on where it was up over waist high. And the mower ran, and bush hog ran again from mid-morning to this afternoon. I don't know where they were, he was gone. But try to knock some of the tall stuff down and give it a better chance. In Diane's email, the street committee meeting scheduled for next Tuesday has been postponed. I'll reschedule that. Today, you all given us some capital improvement money to replace the roof, part of the roof on the main building at the street department. They started on that work today. Wind was kind of high, and we got rain coming, so we're still gonna be dropping around trying to get that done. But we've got $9,814.80 left in that. The bid came in that much under the budgeted amount. I'm not asking for new money. I was asking to reallocate that so we can put some concrete in that new building that's 3 years old now. If we could use that money in that, for that purpose in the building. It's capital improvements, it's already budgeted, but it was budgeted for roof material. But if we have $9,000 left in that, if we could use up to that amount in that, I don't think it'll take that much.
I'm gonna make a motion.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion? Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Had a pre-construction meeting today with Smith and Company, MoDOT, and the two contractors on the asphalt portion of the hiking and biking trail, and the asphalt overlay was coming out of the federal highway dollars for Floyd Street from Russell to the bypass. And we got all that stuff worked out today, and as you all know, we're in the electronic age, and you can see a stack of paperwork down here that the mayor and the clerk have to sign, and we'll proceed on with that. We're looking at starting probably the second or third week of June on the hiking and biking trail, and somewhere around July 15th on Floyd Street overlay. Out of that money. And the hiking and biking trail, remember, is an 80-20 grant, and the other are Service Transportation Urban Federal Highway dollars, and that's an 80-20 grant. We getting those done, and that'll finish up both of those. We've done a walkthrough with the contractor and Smith and Company on the sidewalks on Russell, on Electric, and on First Street. We've got some touch-up things to do in that. When they get those done, then we'll do a walkthrough with MoDOT for an inspection on that, and hopefully be able to close that out real soon too. And the last thing I have for you all is, I hope you got my email that said we've extended the roll-off at the compost for an additional week. The front page, and most of these pages have 24 names on them. The first week we had 255 loads come in, the second week we had 266, and today we had 35. We called off 26 roll-offs for $9,560, and we had $19,000 budgeted. So that's the reason I talked to Mr. Hancock last week and Mr. Palmer, and I felt like it was still being a success. I thought when I talked to you that I'd done an excessive amount of budgeting for the $19,000, that was 60 roll-offs, but we felt like we were still providing a good service to the citizens of Kennett, so we wanted to extend it another week. If we could get media, I know you had coverage on that, if we could get some more coverage of that, so we can be sure and get some news out and all the other media opportunities we can too. Feel like it's providing a good service, to the citizens. And, like I said, we're still well within budget. My crew that's down there has done nothing but brag on the citizens for the cooperation that they've gotten. They've not had anybody complain. Everybody's bragging, thanking them for giving them the opportunity. There's nobody been complaining that they had to haul it down there or they had to unload it themselves. They just constantly get thanked for that. So I think a successful project. Hopefully, wish we didn't have to do it, but I think it's been a successful project.
I wouldn't want to go by and take pictures necessarily of some, but some people who still have stuff stacked by the street, I think they may be thinking that someone is going to come by and pick it up for them. That's not the case. They need to make arrangements to get it hauled to the compost facility.
Any questions from you all?
So is Friday the last day?
Saturday.
Saturday is the last day. of
9:30 to 5:30 through the week, and Saturday 7 to 3. Thank you all. Appreciate your cooperation.
Do you have any?
Street Department, Street Committee is in the process of, we've got a lot of projects going on right now with the 3rd Street situation, and
Do we have an update on that?
Go ahead.
Everything that we've got is gonna require a bid and financial consideration and the whole works, and we're looking at everything from long-term financing to get all the major projects going and trying to decide how much we can afford to spend each month out of the transportation tax to get different projects going and try to work in advance, maybe save some money. So a lot of thought going into this and a lot of work going into it, and a lot of care being taken to make sure that we spend this money wisely.
I've mentioned it to some of you. We've got the MoDOT project on the new Kennett Street, coming up between the school and the church, has caused us a stormwater problem down there, a drainage problem. In fact, they actually covered up our discharge pipe going into that ditch down there when they were originally doing the work. It was so deep that they didn't realize it was there. I talked to the inspector from MoDOT that was on today, and a couple of his bosses that were here for the meeting, and we brought it up to their attention, and good old flat Kennett, we've got a drainage problem down there. MoDOT engineers at this point are working on it, trying to figure out a design. They don't hardly have enough fall in their design road ditches to handle their water, to have a good fall for it. And then when we come in 8/10 of a foot below where they were starting from, it really creates a problem. So, they think, they hope their design engineers can come up with a workable solution for us. They're really, really tight on money. If it's a real easy fix, maybe buying a culvert or something like that, they may be able to handle it. But they may not be able to do the work because they are bound by, Jerry, help me, the easements, the right-of-ways, which their contractors can work off of the distance of their right-of-way for something of this nature.
I mean,
So,
part of our agreement with them is for them to use whatever we have for their construction, but it depends on how much they have.
right, they were just bringing up that, they probably couldn't go all the way over to Disclara Drive.
Probably
not. With their contractor doing the work all the way over to there, and nobody, we don't have any idea what we're gonna do, how we're gonna do it. But I'm just stating that, there could possibly still be some expense in this also. Throw that out, so we're aware of that.
Randy, do you have any dollar-wise figure on what it's gonna save the city? This pickup that we have now, rather than
Well, the last one, and I'm going on memory, if somebody remembers better, we paid around over $80,000 the last time they went around town. And I don't remember what it was because we had a contract with them that also, we paid the tipping fee at the landfill. And I don't know what that figure was. And like I said, right now, we're we're over 9,000 of what we've got in the boxes. But, we're probably not over $11,000 this way versus 80. That was several years ago when we had that bid. I don't, Roger, were you there at that?
Last time we did the citywide was between $75,000 and $80,000.
Probably some stuff would have been possibly picked up that wasn't this way. But, we've gotten some stuff too because people have come back out 2 or 3 days later. Oh, we're glad you're still here because we went back and we're rearranging things. We found more things to throw away when we had some space and that type of thing. So, I feel like we've gotten some good loads that way.
Thank you.
Excuse me, I'm trying to get,
Oh, you want him?
Mr. Chief Harvey, you have anything?
No, sir. I thought you were pointing at
Okay.
On the police department side, it's busy as usual, all of our end of the month statistics will be at next council meeting. The officers are working hard, we're starting to have a few of the sheds getting broken into, lawnmower stolen, so people, citizens need to be vigilant about seeing strange people or cars in the area, please give us a call, because that way we can respond and check them out. We've got a few leads on some, but, all I can say about that. The officers have been out working, they've been walking the park, doing their walk patrols, doing around businesses. A lot of good feedback from that, a lot of busy people, are liking what's coming in now on a regular basis. The park has really worked out, been in Indian Park and all the parks, so we're not trying to leave any out. So if people are having problems or seeing strange activities going on, please give us a call. Like I said, other than that, we're staying busy and everybody's working good. Thank you all for everything you do.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Have you had any more bicycle tours?
Sir?
Have you had any more bicycle tours?
No, we've not been able to do it. Most of the weather's not been good enough. We've been covered up on some calls. So We're back out there, we're saying.
Okay, yeah.
This has been a tremendously busy month for the chamber, and last Saturday we started the farmer's market again. You realize we took that over from the downtown revitalization effort. Right now, there's 17 confirmed vendors that have purchased whole season passes. There's a variety of old vendors who did it previously and brand new vendors. You'll find that a lot of them are from outside of Kennett, so I think it's interesting that they're choosing to come to Kennett's farmer's market rather than others. We have people from as far as Powhatan, Arkansas, which is quite a ways away, several from Piggott, Arkansas, and several from as far up north as Sykeston, Missouri, who are coming to Kennett every Saturday to participate in our farmer's market. This past Saturday, we kind of got rained out, but I sat with one vendor who's really from Orlando, Florida. Is here visiting family for the summer, so he's participating in the market. And I won't tell you how much money he made in the 2 hours that we sat in the rain, but I was very pleasantly surprised at all of the community that came out and supported the farmer's market. We only had 3 vendors come out, but just that one vendor made enough money to last all of them. So I was really impressed with the community's participation, even in the rain. And we had a ribbon cutting today for a new salon in town, Miss Millie's Boutique. It's a one-person salon. She's got 5 years experience, but she said she's being booked at least a week out, so that's great business for her. There will be a ribbon cutting Thursday night at 6 o'clock at the Dunklin County Caring Council. This is for the new community learning kitchen. So they're also doing a shower, and they're asking the community to help donate kitchen items to the kitchen so that people can go to the community garden, pick their goods, and then go to the learning kitchen and learn how to prepare healthy meals in their home. So this will be a good asset for the whole community. We, of course, have the Show Me State Barbecue Cook-Off this week. The carnival starts tomorrow. It's a great big tourism event for the community, so I hope it's very successful. Also, the 100-mile yard sale is happening, and we've been reminding people constantly to purchase their yard sale permits so that they can get that properly taken care of. And Kennett's getting a lot of positive press for the 100-mile yard sale all throughout the state and all throughout the country. And Kennett is one of the bigger names in that because we're the anchor, we're the very bottom of it. So there's 3 names that are mentioned in all the press releases for it: Kennett, Jackson, and Dexter. So I'm really glad that we're one of those big names. Let's see. And May 28th, I'll be having my final planning meeting for the Ride the Fault Line bicycle tour that's going to be coming in June. I really want to thank the Public Safety Department, the police and firemen. They've all been very helpful for me with this tour and making sure everything goes smoothly. That's all I have. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Covers all the departmental reports. Moving to old business, first up, downtown expansion.
Well, Randy and I are still coordinating everything with all the rain again. We still need to haul in a little more fill dirt before we can lay out the ground to pour a concrete slab, but it's all, we're aware of where we are and what we gotta do, so. I did, because of all the rain, except we had somewhat of a backup in the septic system, so I had Roto-Rooter pump out our tanks today, so. Just maybe that'll improve as the weather dries out a little.
I don't know if that's numbers exactly right, but I think this last Saturday, they rescued out
44.
44 dogs were rescued out to other organizations and got out of our city, so that's the good news. The bad news is we're not running short. We still got plenty of them. So. Good. Mr. Nelson with Vector.
Yes, sir. Mayor, council, just want to say I'm glad to be here, and we've been already working. We mapped out the town. We've already done some sprays, some spot spraying. We are larviciding weekly. I have just a light report from April that I gave to Ms. Reisner. It's not much. The next report will be a very nice thick one, binded, divided out from surveillance, larvicide, adulticide, traps, etc. And we'll have some nice colored, it'll show pinpoint spots of the larvicide areas, trap areas, accounts, numerous things to show what we're doing. That's when you'll be able to start understanding more about what we're doing, okay? That's when you're able to see these 50 pages of different things showing you from starting with the surveillance all the way to the end to the adult side. And if y'all remember, I said the adult side is the last thing that we want to do. It's going to be necessary, but it is the last thing we want to do. So, anyway, is there any questions about like what we're doing? Getting lined out?
I did have somebody said, apparently they saw you spraying some puddles or something for the larvicide.
Yes, sir, we're putting some larvicide in.
And
Yes,
what
sir.
they asked, what was that for? They were spraying mud puddle, what are they doing that for?
Right,
I said, well,
right.
that's where they go to hack, so I mean.
As we, you'll put traps in certain locations and then we'll be adding to that. Right now we have 3 New Jersey light traps in the city and we'll be adding to that probably. Also, as we get into the season, we'll be starting to use some things called gravity traps, and I talked to you all about that, where we're trying to do disease monitoring and keep up with the QLEX. And we'll put some of these traps will go to the same locations consistently throughout the season. Some will move around a little bit to keep up with that. So, and we definitely got to stay on top with the larvicide. As necessary, when it gets, for the 4th of July, by the way, we will run the aircraft prior to the 4th to give everybody a little bit of a break, okay? As the counts, we're going to have a battle, we will every year. As the counts come up, they get to a level that is starting to get completely out of hand where I can't handle it with the larviciding, the trucks, ULV man, on the trucks. Then I'll bring in the aircraft, we'll spray the city at that point and try to get back lined out. So, as we go, if there's ever any questions, I hope all y'all have my card. Please give me a call, or call the office at 532-9102. I don't know if y'all have that number or not, but that's the office number. I'll be sure that Ms. Reisner ends up with that to get that to you. That's my cell. If you have a constituent complaint, it'd be nice if you do email, if you could email that or text it to me, because that phone's stuck to the side of my head pretty much all day, every day. And this way, if I got it in, writing, I can make sure I don't miss anything. And I make sure that particular area or person gets taken care of. And also, we need to remember the service request deal when we have, there's folks like this Memorial Day coming up, we have folks that's gonna have people in from out of town, things like that. That we do these service requests, we can come spray around their yard or where they're having a party or whatever it might be to make sure, make it more enjoyable for them. Things like that, so.
Since one of the traps is in my backyard,
Yes, ma'am.
I guess these are 2 different kinds of mosquitoes?
Okay, let me
Just
explain
out
that a little
of
bit.
curiosity.
Sure. Okay, this is just a brief deal. This is just where we just started. This is not how it's gonna be, I can assure you. You're gonna have a very detailed report with a map of the city of Kennett that shows you trap locations, larvicide with little dots, okay? Also with routes where they spray, along with this information here. Like what she's talking about on the New Jersey, the light trap, we have a mosquito called an Aedes vexin, okay? We have an Anopheles quadrimaculatus. Anopheles is your malaria mosquito, Aedes. Can be a disease type mosquito, but probably not gonna be something we need to worry about, okay? Floodwater mosquito. You've got a QLEX, let's see. QLEX type mosquitoes would be these mosquitoes we would catch in like a CDC trap, which we may or may not use here. It'll depend, you use dry ice in those. It tracks them, you catch them. We will use the gravity traps, which has old stinky stagnant water that will catch QLEX mosquitoes. It's the ones that we want to test for West Nile. We will do that and make sure we try to stay on top of that. I do want to get into the education part to make sure, maybe put something together, and I've done this with a lot of the cities that we work with, put something together where we educate the folks about their gutters on their homes, the buckets they leave around their house, the tires, anything, bottle caps, old bottles, buckets, any type of product or containers that will hold water that will breed mosquitoes. And then, of course, it's right by the home, they're gonna come in their doors
immediately, or be hanging around in dark areas above the doors. And where, when you breathe, you know, they're attracted to the human breathing carbon dioxide, so. Any other questions? Did that answer your question okay about the difference in the species? The Anopheles is malaria mosquito. We don't have a problem with malaria, thank you.